going to turn it over. I'm going to turn it over. Yeah,
I've got an introduction. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to turn it over to Kata to do the introduction and then Tracie. Awesome. Thanks, Kata. Take it away.
Okay, wonderful. Tracie Schmidt is a mortgage loan officer that has been helping families build wealth through real estate over the past 25 years. She has been featured in places like Forbes magazine, USA Today, and has received awards such as Top Woman Originator and 2021 Elite Woman from Mortgage Professionals magazine. If you are thinking about buying a home, Tracie is the person that can guide you through the process and make your mortgage easy. Take it away.
That's hard to hear stuff about yourself. I'm like blushing. Thank you. Let me play my presentation and do a share screen at the same time, which is always so complicated. Okay, let's see here. Share, play. Can you guys see it? Yes? Okay. So my goal is, well, first of all, the amazing thing about Master Network, let's just say, is the fact that we as business owners get to showcase our business when it's time. And so I really appreciate you allowing me to do this and have you learn a little bit more about me and what I do. My goal is for you to learn a little bit more about the process. And if you did refer a client to me, what kind of the steps are and what I take them through so you could feel comfortable in doing that. And then also just for your own knowledge, if you hear people mention something or a certain situation they're in, my goal is to try to help as many families as possible build wealth through real estate. And you're going to see why that's possible in a second. I have my amazing team member, Stephanie, who's on the call. And she's on the front of this because I couldn't do it without the help and support of someone because of how busy we get. So I just want to say a quick thank you to Stephanie. So we're going to go through why buy a home, what you need to get pre-approved, how to start the process, down payment, credit, and mortgage products. It sounds like a lot, but I swear I do this in my sleep. So it's going to be super quick and you're going to get a lot out of it. Save your questions, or we could do a one-on-one if you have questions after the fact. So I'm going to go to the next slide. Kata already kind of mentioned this. It's hard to talk about yourself, but I have been helping families buy and refinance property since 1997. It's the only thing I've ever done in my career, my entire life. This is it. I've never served tables. I've never done anything but mortgages. So you can trust that I have the experience to help your clients. I'm also a certified veterans loan specialist, which is near and dear to me. My dad's a veteran. He was never told about the benefits that he had to buy a home. So I took special certifications to ensure that I have the knowledge to help people that are either active duty or retired veterans to help them also realize the dream of home ownership. So like Kata said, thank you so much. I've been in these things, I've gotten awards, it's great, but I couldn't do it without the help of referral partners like yourself because I don't buy leads. Every single transaction I do is actually referred to me by someone personally. So I'm proud of that. So benefits of owning a home, potential tax savings, mortgage interest deduction, property tax deductions, appreciation, equity. If you want to paint your house, you get to paint your house, right? If you want to do something different, that you wanted to, happiness and build roots and pick a school district, it's all things that you could benefit from instead of renting and basically living under what your landlord's rules are. So this is really interesting. We live in a really expensive market. And so the San Diego real estate appreciation rates, we are in the top 20% nationally for real estate appreciation. Okay, so in the past 10 years, San Diego's real estate appreciated by 124%. It's crazy. So that's amazing and awesome because you're building wealth if you own a home in San Diego. But what that means is our average sales price is $899,000 as of December of 2022, which is crazy. It's trending up 7% year over year. Right, advantages and disadvantages. You definitely need to be making a good amount of money or have dual income to afford the median list price. Now, again, that's average, right? So there's definitely houses on the market that are below that, and there's definitely houses on the market above that. So just to give an idea, if you purchased a home this year, and let's say it was $899,000, and you only put 3% down, plus closing costs, you would invest about $43,000 as your upfront investment. In 1 year at 7% appreciation, you would gain almost $63,000. So you'd already make up in 1 year of appreciation what you actually put down into a purchase at $899. So I just wanted to go through that because that's kind of powerful if you really think about it and what you're gaining in appreciation. Okay, so starting the home buying process, why should you get pre-approved? And people want to go look for a house before they're pre-approved. I don't understand it, but they think that they don't need to get pre-approved and that everything's great and their credit's great and their income's great and they could just buy a house. So it's so important. It doesn't cost them anything up front. There's no obligation or commitment. It really helps them understand what their buying power is, what their payments will be, how much cash they need, their maximum sales price. If they don't want to buy today, we could develop a timeline as to when they'll be ready to buy. It'll ensure that a mortgage lender actually reviewed their information so they could get the mortgage loan, right? Not find their dream home only to find out that they don't qualify. Again, there's no upfront cost or obligation, and they could really get all their questions answered in a confidential setting at their own pace. So, I do loans all over California. So a lot of the times it's just through phone. So think about it. I have to develop a relationship with a complete stranger over the phone and have them entrust me to get all of their financial and personal information, review their credit, and provide options to them, sometimes never meeting them in person, right? And I've closed hundreds and hundreds of transactions. So I just want to show you and have you understand that when you refer me a client, they're well taken care of, right? They feel like they're getting education and they're talking to someone that we become friends, we become family. So I want you to really resonate with that. I'm not just that pick up the phone, loan officer that's going to work for the paycheck and then be done with them. So I do my business a little bit differently than most loan officers. So how to get pre-approved? It honestly takes you like 30 minutes to buy a $900,000 house, right? Go figure. So this is what you would do as a potential buyer. We would have a phone call, right? You would refer me your brother or your sister, or Ben referred me his son. We have an initial phone call. I really understand what they're looking for, how much of a payment they want, how much money they have. And once we're done kind of having that conversation, I'll send them a quick link. It's a secure online application link where they just put in their email address and they create a password. They're going to get prompted questions based on how they answer those questions. They'll get asked different questions. There's honestly pictures that they can hit. So it's very easy and not confusing at all. It'll notify me when I'm done, when they're done. And then the system is so smart that it will generate a list of documents that they'll need to give me based on the questions that they answered. So the client can actually upload the documents directly into that same secure account portal that they created just with an email and a password. And those documents will be delivered to me also securely. So they don't need to fax anything. They can take pictures if they want from their phone, and they can just drag and drop from their computer or their laptop or their iPad. And then I have access to everything that I need. So this is what I do. So that's all you do, right? So you want to get pre-approved for a home, that's all you do. What I do, so it's going to come over, I'm going to run either a soft credit pull or a hard credit pull, depending on your timeline. I'll review options, down payments, interest rates. I'll send an Excel sheet that I put together of different options that you can look at. And then we're going to have a follow-up conversation to go over numbers. What's your comfort level? What's your maximum based on this information that you want to go up to based on the payment you want? And I'll issue the pre-approval letter to you and to your realtor. Or if you're refinancing, I could lock you on the spot. So you're in on the interest rates. You'll see below, I don't want to go through all of it for time's sake, but the documents are really, really simple, right? W-2 employee, 2 most recent pay stubs, 2 years W-2s, and the recent asset statement of down payment, where the down payment and closing costs are going to come from. So that's all I start with. So it's not very invasive, but it's enough information for me to make sure that they will qualify to actually buy the house. How much of a down payment do I need? So the myth is you need 20% down to buy a house. Not true. So the way you figure out down payment, you're going to take the sales price of the house times the down payment required per the loan program that we talk about. Okay. You could always pay more down payment if you wanted to. Here's an example, $500,000 sales price. We're going to do an FHA loan, which means the minimum down payment is 3.5%. Or $17,500. That's a quick way you can calculate how much cash you think you might need to purchase a home. You're going to usually add about 2% of the sales price to that down payment number to assume closing costs in the transaction. Most closing costs are third party, right? They don't go to me, they go to title and to escrow, the appraisal. And we break that down for the consumer. So here's just a quick idea. Jumbo financing, right? As little as 10% down, meaning you could buy a multi-million-dollar home and put 10% of that sales price as a down payment. Conventional options, only 3% if you're a first-time home buyer, and San Diego County goes up to $977,500 as a loan amount that you only have to put 3% down on that sales price to get to that loan amount, which is pretty amazing. If you're not a first-time home buyer, you would have to put 5% down, conventional. FHA, minimum is 3.5%. It could all be gift funds. You want to help your kid buy a house? You can gift them the entire down payment and then look to possibly get a credit from the seller to cover the closing costs. So literally you could get your kid into a home, getting it appreciating 8% a year as an investment for their future with tax write-off. So just kind of think about that, especially a starter condo, lower sales price. There's so many options of properties here in San Diego. VA, love it. No money down, no loan limits, borrow $1 million with no down payment. Again, you're going to qualify with your income and your credit, but 0 down payment for VA. Love that. Investor loans. So that's going to be, people that are investors, they're buying investment properties, Airbnbs. Usually you need at least 20% down or more, depending on what the loan program is. So that's a quick info for you. Credit score. Okay, here's another myth. Oh, I need an 800 credit score to buy a house. No one, that's just not true. Okay, so this is how you figure out credit. You have borrower 1 and borrower 2. They each have 3 credit scores. You take the middle credit score of each person, and we use the lowest of those 2 scores to qualify you on program and interest rate. Okay. Jumbo financing, 660 minimum mid credit score. You could buy a multi-million-dollar house with a 660 credit score. Conventional, 620 credit score. FHA, if you have a 500 credit score, right, there's something in your life that happened that you can't get over, you can't get past. That's not your fault, right? Maybe it was 10 years ago, but your credit has suffered. You could still buy a house with 10% down. FHA with a 580 or higher FICO score, it's 3.5% of the sales price. VA, 500 FICO score with no down payment, right? Again, you have a situation, you're deployed, you don't get your bills, you miss payments, your credit score drops. That shouldn't mean that you can't buy a house and realize the wealth in real estate. Down payment assistance. So your first responders, your teachers, your nurses, your first-time home buyers, they can actually get assistance, either 2% or 3.5% of the sales price to go towards their down payment with a minimum of a 600 credit score. So you have family, friends, people that are in these positions, have them talk to me so they can understand what their options are different than everybody else. What if their credit score isn't high enough? Okay, we can run a credit analyzer to see what we could do to help improve your score. Now, I have to say it's not guaranteed, but we get a really good idea if you do XYZ over this timeline, how many points potentially your score could increase. That could mean the difference between you getting qualified and not getting qualified. Okay, and then what we could do is if it's something you need to buy a house right away, your lease is up, your landlord is selling their house, you're 5 points away. I could order what's called a rapid rescore. And what will take you 90 days to do to get your credit improved, it will take me 72 hours to get the credit score that you need. So these are different. We can't charge the client. This is money that comes out of my pocket, but these are just things that we do to set ourselves apart to try and give people the best possible chance of owning a home. This is one of my last slides. I know I'm talking quick. Mortgage products. So we do conventional, FHA, VA, USDA, and jumbo, right? Everybody does those. You're going to hear that out there. You're going to see it on Facebook. You're going to see it everywhere. Our interest rates are killer. So since I moved companies, we can actually change our compensation personally to get a better interest rate for someone if they need it to qualify, if they need a certain payment to meet their debt ratio. So I will tell you, if you have a client that's pre-approved, have them provide me their rate sheet and I will match or beat it. Okay, so 9 times out of 10. Here are some of the non-traditional loan products that we do that I want you to kind of just if you hear people talking about them, you're like, oh, wow, I didn't even know that was possible. So down payment assistance, like I talked about, 203K and VA renovation. So someone wants to buy a fixer-upper home, but they don't have the money to fix it up themselves. They can buy the home and we could finance the renovations in the mortgage, and we use a projected value when those renovations are going to be done. Okay, something to think about, especially with low inventory. Self-employed, that's you guys. You know, bank statements as low as 3 months to qualify you, up to 12 months, 24 months. Business lines of credit based on receivables we could actually do. So if you know someone that owns a business and they're struggling, we can actually help them with their documented receivables to give them a business line of credit that they can use repeatedly. Second mortgages, most companies only do interest only, credit card like equity loans. We could do fixed second mortgages. We could do first mortgage equity lines. We could do 40-year terms to make your payment lower. We could do reverse mortgages if you're over 62. We could do interest only mortgage payments, which makes your payment lower. We could do all in one. So people that don't qualify for a reverse mortgage, but don't want to make monthly payments or on fixed income, they can get a first mortgage loan and use their deposits as the payment, right? So their Social Security deposit, it's paying down the mortgage where they could borrow from it again in the future. Investor loans, someone wants to buy an investment property to Verbo or Airbnb, we could do those. You have no income, no ratio loans because you don't claim any income. You're self-employed, you write everything off, you can't qualify. We could do no income, no ratio. Foreign national ITIN, people under the DACA program, we can help them buy a house. One-time close, you see a piece of land, because there's no inventory, you want to buy the land, you want to build your own home, and then we do the final mortgage all in one transaction so you don't have to refinance after you're done with construction. Fix and flip, buy a fixer, you want to flip it quickly, we do those. We can actually finance the renovation cost in the purchase. 1099 income, commercial properties, bridge loans. If you have someone that wants to buy a house before they sell their house because they're nervous, we can bridge a loan to help them do that without selling their current residence. Land, lot loans, closing an LLC, hard money loans, they're hard. You can't find something anywhere, direct them to me. And last but not least, one of my favorites in San Diego is a 420 land income loan if you have experience selling a 420 product, which is just amazing. That is out there now as a mortgage product. So if you know anybody that's in the 420 business, hopefully you guys all know what that is, we can help them. Okay, for more information, call or text. Here's my email. Here's the website, schmidtteammortgages.com. This is to learn more about the team. You could show your clients. I have over 200 5-star reviews that you can go to. They're from real estate agents. They're from financial planners. They're from clients. They're from everybody you could think of. People that I've just honestly like met and helped. People leave reviews for me, and you should do that for your business as well. So, and then the book is my final thing. If you know someone thinking about buying a home, just reach out to me. I can provide them a copy of the book, Making Mortgages Easy. It's kind of everything that I just talked about, but it's in a little bit slower version and at a pace that they can understand. And that is it. Done. Yay. I need some water.
Awesome. I know, right? That was awesome.
Wow.
Sorry, that's a lot.
Awesome.
I did it like 17 minutes.
That was awesome. And
3 pages of notes, Tracie.
Oh, I'll just send the presentation. You can just use it.
Please.
that was
This is
awesome.
incredible.
Yeah.
I know that you talked a lot about San Diego, but you serve you serve all the entire country, right?
Yeah, so I'm licensed in all of California, Florida, Texas, Georgia, Idaho, Montana, New Jersey, Wyoming. And then, but our company, we can refer out to a loan officer within our company in any state, except for Massachusetts and New York right now, but we could even do Hawaii. We can help anyone anywhere. So New Hampshire, anywhere. Yeah, which is awesome. Yeah.
Tracie, this is Ben. I've known you for, I don't know, 6 years. I never knew you could do all of those things.
Yes, I couldn't up until about a month ago when I changed companies.
Okay, I feel a little better now because I feel better. So a couple things. One, now that I know you have this capability, I want to talk to you offline about my future housing, like 5 years from now. But I got a comment for the group about Tracie on slide 5 of her presentation. And she mentioned that she explains things at her own pace. And Tracie's a fast speaker, as you can tell. But when I talked to her in the past about her situation, my situation, clients, I always feel like the conversation is moving directed and purposefully towards something. Like Tracie came to visit me in my office a month ago, and we hung out for, I don't know, an hour or so. So it was a guided conversation. But she does Tracie, you do a really good job of getting a lot of information across succinctly. And I don't feel oversaturated. I feel in awe, but I don't feel like my head exploded.
Thank you.
Good
It's
job.
the New Yorker in me. I can't help it. Elena knows it's like that East Coast. I just have to get it all out there.
I love it.
Yeah, Tracie, I got to tell you, my takeaway was that you are clearly the expert.
Thank you.
That, you know, if there's a mortgage question, if I know anyone, but there's only one person I'm referring them to, that's you. Yeah, you know, that was amazing. And I just need to know what's in your coffee, you know.
Ask Elena. It's that meta power stuff. I had my drink this morning and I had my little thing, and I make it a part of my morning routine. And so
I need to know
definitely
about
helps you.
that. Can I add it to my mushroom coffee?
Yeah, ask Elena. She will.
Yeah.
She's on the call. It's amazing some of the products that she has to give you natural energy. It's pretty cool.
One of the things, on a side note, it's not quite related to this, but it kind of is. Last Friday morning, I wasn't here. I was in a meeting that involved the district attorney's county, San Diego, the real estate division. And they were talking about hard money loans and the fraud that exists in California that has to do with hard money loans and people, well, lots of different things, right? Squatters and a whole bunch of stuff. And San Diego County has a program that's free for anyone. I have the information on my desk in my office, but you sign up for it. And the moment someone goes to the registrar's office and hits your property with information to try to do something with the deed, immediately that homeowner is notified. So, I mean, that's not exactly what we were talking about, but you talked about that. It reminded me where I was last Friday in this meeting. And it's this program, almost no one knows about it. Like it's hard to find out, but it's free, that anyone in the county could enroll in this program. They just go into the county, they come on the county website, they put their information in. And so if anyone ever tries to do something to your property, you'll be notified right away, which will stop most fraud.
Yeah, and it's amazing because we do go through title companies and title insurance. I mean, even if it is a hard money loan, you're still going through the transaction, but there's people that find ways to do mischievous things, unfortunately, in every industry. And the mortgage and real estate industry is part of that. So that's why you do need someone like myself to really have your back. I mean, I need to make sure that you really qualify, and I'm not going to sit there and sell you something where you can only afford $2,000 a month and I'm putting you in a payment of $4,000 a month, and then you're stressed out and then your house gets foreclosed on. Like, that's just not, I wasn't part of that problem. I worked in the business when the market crashed, but I could honestly say I never did the loans that you have, the reverse payments. And I mean, I want people to understand that, just like Jen had said in the past, like car people or realtors or mortgage people, like we come off, for some reason, we have a bad rap, I think, because of what the industry's done. But there are good people out there. And that's just what I want to have come across, where, someone's brother or sister or cousin could be doing loans or real estate, but have them still talk to one of us because you also know us and what we do. And I'll tell them like, hey, you're getting a killer deal. Or I'm going to be like, did you ask them these 5 questions? And a lot of times they haven't gotten those answers. And that's where I could build that relationship with people.
And I have to say, yes, I've known Tracie for a long time now. I think since I started in the business, and she's worked with many of my clients, and she's always been amazing. And I can always count on her. If there's a deal going south, I've reached out to her, she's saved it, and it's amazing. So I do want to have another meeting with you, though, about this new company you're with. So we need to get together for lunch because I have lots of questions.
I love that.
I have a client that might be able to use one of those interesting loans. So
perfect. There's a lot out there. People right now, it's hard, especially in San Diego. It's hard to get that traditional type of loan, especially with COVID and stuff, with people that were self-employed and couldn't earn their income, and now they're getting back on their feet and they have income now, but they can't show a history of it because of COVID. I mean, that's really hard for them to qualify for a traditional loan, but there's other options out there that people should know about.
Mhm.
Hey, what if somebody wanted to make improvements to their home? Let's say they wanted Kata solar, or they wanted to do some major landscaping. Can you hook them up that way too?
Yeah, so most people, because of interest rates being as low as they were, may not want to touch the rate on their first mortgage. So that's the type of loan I was talking about, where it's either like a home equity line of credit. So it leaves their first mortgage rate the way that it is. And you could do a credit line up to 50,000, 100,000, 250,000 and draw it as you need it for those improvements. Or you could do a fixed second mortgage. We have a second mortgage. I could literally, Chris, send you the link today and you could have your funds in 5 days. Everything is electronic. There is, you
I'm
basically,
renting. I just moved here.
I'm just saying, so you fill out your information, it connects to your bank statement, and your income, and then it spits out what kind of terms you qualify for, and you pick the term, and then you get the money. So, but yeah, absolutely. There's renovation loans. So if you're trying to buy something that you know needs a ton of work, you can finance those renovation costs into the actual purchase. And you have 6 months to complete that work from the time that you buy the house.
What about for the client who's selling and needs renovation work before they sell, but can you do it and get paid out of the escrow? Get paid out of the, that's going to be the interesting one that I need.
Yeah, that's called an escrow holdback. And that an escrow holdback is possible, but it depends on what the renovations would be. So we'll talk offline, and then just let me know what they need to hold back for. And then that's the cool thing, is we could call, I have access to over 190 different lending partners. So I can, and Steph knows, I'm teaching her, like, we send an email blast out and we BCC everybody to get the fastest answer possible of who can do that type of product. So we'll definitely try to help.
Perfect.
Awesome. Elena, and then that will be the last question.
Okay.
I just want to say, in one part, I don't remember where, because you said so much, which is so amazing. I had tears in my eyes, because like I can feel how much you love the people that you're helping, and like brava, because that is rare on this earth for someone in your industry to care so much.
Mhm.
I mean, incredible. And thank you.
Oh, thanks.
Wow.
I appreciate that.
Amazing.
That means a lot. Thanks.
Awesome. I love that. Great job, Tracie. You set the bar high for everybody else to do showcases. So like I said, February 24th, if you want to be next to do the showcase, then let me know. If somebody doesn't volunteer, then you will be voluntold that you are presenting on February 24th. So you have a month to put together a presentation and that type of thing. So just reach out to Tracie or myself. And let one of us know that you want to do the showcase. And then in the last few minutes, I wanted to quickly just touch on the event that you guys have next Wednesday. Any questions or any last minute things that need to be talked about? Make sure you RSVP to Jen and let her know.
And we're still going to have our meeting on the 3rd after it. So I think it'll be great just to
we got to connect the dots for everybody, you know, like, how'd I end up in the pool naked? Or, you know,
I think it's a little too cold for that, but you're from the East Coast.
There's a hot tub too, so you can just warm up in the hot tub.
Awesome. No, but I am going to be providing, I know it's like kind of like around mealtime. So definitely going to have some food there for everybody and some drinks. And so is anybody allergic to anything?
I'm highly allergic to shellfish.
Okay, that's good to know.
No shrimp.
I eat shellfish like every day of my life. So I'm glad you told me
I
that.
just had a breakup over that.
Oh, okay. Well, we won't talk about that right now.
Okay.
Come on, Chris, stay positive.
It's all good. I couldn't be more positive.
Awesome. Kristen, we wish you could come out and hang with us. So
I know.
We'll
I'm
We'll zoom
sad
her
about
in.
it.
Let's zoom her in on the big screen or something.
Right?